Hello everyone. Thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. I am Neeti Saxena and I'll be taking you through the part 2 of module 1 of the subject Principles and Practices of Management. The module 1 covers certain topics like what is an organization, what is management, what are the four functions of management, what are the different kind of managers, and what are the roles and sub-roles that managers play, what are the skill sets that managers require. In the part 1 of module 1, that is in the other video, I have already covered what organization and what management is. In this particular part, that is part 2 of module 1, we would be covering two topics, which are the functions of management and what are the different kind of managers. In the next part, that is part 3 of module 1, we would be covering the remaining two topics, that is the role and sub-role of managers and the skill sets that are required by the managers. So the question arises, who are managers? Managers are those people who get work done from the other individuals who are working in the organization. So we can say that manager is someone who works with and through other people by coordinating and integrating their work activities in order to accomplish organizational goals. So managers are the people who motivate other people who are working in the organization. They coordinate the different activities of the organization. They integrate the work that is being done by the different people in the organization. And why are they doing all this? In order to accomplish and meet the organizational goals. These managers play a very important role in the organization because they are the ones who implement the managerial practices and the management principles in the organization, because of which the overall efficiency and productivity of the organization increases. These managers can be classified into three categories: top level, middle level, and first line managers, depending upon the hierarchy and the role that they are playing in the organization. Let's first talk about the top level managers. These people are the one who formulate the strategy of the organization. They are responsible for making organization wide decisions and establishing plans and goals that affect the entire organizations. So top level managers include the CEO, CFO, and the top level people who strategize the organization, who develop the mission and vision for the organization. They look into that what are the different things that they need to do in the next coming 5 years and 10 years, what are the goals of the organization. After the top level managers comes the middle managers. These managers, they manage the work of the first line managers, and they are responsible for converting the strategy into an action plan. That means the strategy which is formulated by the top level managers, this strategy is converted into an action plan by the middle managers, and this action plan is then communicated to the first line managers who implement it. So middle managers play a very crucial role in formulating the action plan based upon the strategy which has been made by the top level management. After middle managers, the lower level managers are called as the first line managers. They are at the lowest level of the management and manage the work of non-managerial employees. They are the ones who actually get work done from the subordinates, from the people who are actually working on the machines, and which are which are non-managerial employees. So top level managers, middle level managers, and first line managers play very important role in the organization. They have their distinctive roles. Top level managers formulate the strategy, middle level managers convert the strategy into action plan, and this action plan is then communicated to the first line managers. First line managers are the people who actually get the work done from the non-managerial employees. There are four functions which every manager has to perform, and these four functions are very important. What are the functions? Planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Planning is basically when you actually start doing certain work, or in case if you've got a project, you will definitely plan before actually working on the project. So planning is defining goals, establishing strategies to achieve goals, developing plans to integrate and coordinate activities. Just think, if you are an entrepreneur and if you have to start with your organization, isn't it that you'll plan prior actually establishing the organization? You will conceptualize the organization, you will develop a strategy, you will develop a goal. All these things are collectively called as planning. Once your planning is done, the second step is organizing. Organizing is basically getting all those different resources accumulating the resources and placing the resources at the right position so that the work of the organization can be done smoothly and the goals can be achieved. So organizing is arranging work to accomplish organization goals. So basically organizing your finances, organizing your machinery, organizing your human resource, then placing all these things at the right position in an organization is organizing it. Further, when we will cover this topic in the coming modules, you will understand that organizing includes departmentalization. It includes the proper placing of machinery in the organization, getting all the different resources from the cheapest of the sources. So all these things come under organizing. Once the planning and organizing part is done, the third function with the manager has to perform is leading. Leading is basically working with and through people to accomplish goals. Once you have set your action plans, once you know what is to be done in the organization, this is something which needs to be communicated to the employees as well. You need to tell the employees what is required from them. So that is leading, directing, basically telling the employees what needs to be done and then motivating and guiding them to achieve their individual goals, which would lead to achievement of the organizational goals. Planning, organizing, and leading is then continued by another function which is called as controlling. Once you've told your employees what is to be done, it becomes even more important to keep a continuous check on the employees, monitoring, comparing, and correcting the work. Monitoring the employees whether they are doing the right thing, whether they are actually doing the things which were told them to be done, and then comparing it with the set standards. You must have set a standard that this is, let's say, in a day you want 100 units to be produced. So once you've set the standard, by the end of the day you need to evaluate also that whether that 100 units were produced or only 80 units were produced. So this is called as controlling, wherein you keep a control, you keep a continuous check, you monitor the progress of the employees. So planning, organizing, leading, and controlling are the four functions which are done by managers, and all these functions are very important for the successful operation of an organization. This is the same planning, organizing, leading, controlling, the four functions which are represented diagrammatically in this particular slide. Planning is defining goals, establishing strategy, and developing sub-plans to coordinate activities. Then comes organizing, leading, and controlling, which leads to achieving the organization's stated purpose. There are two things or two little topics or two, we can say, terms which are very important to be understood by every manager. One is efficiency, the other is effectiveness. Both the terms look very similar, but there is a huge difference between both the terms. Efficiency is doing things right, getting the most output from the least input. That means the input is less and the output is more. So efficiency focuses in resource usage, low wastage, and maximum output. Whereas effectiveness is doing the right things. That is attaining organization goals. So basically effectiveness, let's say if I say that I have to achieve or manufacture 100 units in a day. So the effectiveness is whether 100 units were produced or not. Efficiency would be how much input was required to produce 100 output. So the minimum input if is possible and maximum output is done, then automatically the efficiency goes high. And effectiveness is whether you were able to achieve your goal, whether you were able to manufacture those 100 units which you had mentioned in your standard performance. So effectiveness and efficiency are two things which every manager has to focus. If the efficiency of the organization goes high, automatically the productivity and the profitability also goes high. Effectiveness is something that how effective was your process. If you had thought that 100 units would be manufactured in a day, were your workforce, was your organization effective, or was your process effective to produce that 100 output or not? So efficiency and effectiveness are two terms which every manager should keep in mind while attaining the organizational goals. Katz and Fayol were two scientists who conceptualized the managerial skills. They said that every manager needs to have three skills: technical, human, and conceptual. Technical skills are related to the technique or the basic functionality of a machine. In case of if it is a manufacturing unit, then the manager should know that how a machine operates. Human skill is related to the skill which a manager has to deal with the employees. A manager should know how to get work done from the employees. And conceptual skill is related to the strategy formulation. In case if you are in a particular industry, you should know that what are the concepts which are important for a manager to understand in order to frame the strategy of an organization. So as in the diagram you can see, the top level management, they need to have maximum of the conceptual and human skills, whereas the technical skill is not that much required, because top level management is not actually working on the machine. They are the ones who are framing the strategy. So they need conceptual skill, and of course they are working with employees. They have their middle managers who report to them, so they need to have the conceptual, the human skill as well. When you look into the middle management, again they need to have human skill, but at the same time they need to have a balance of conceptual and technical skill, because they, why they need to have conceptual skill, because they are the ones who would be formulating the action plan based upon the strategy which was made by the top level management. So they need to have that conceptual skill so that they can understand the concept why that particular strategy was made. Technical skill is required by middle level management, because when they are making the action plan, they need to understand that will that action plan would be feasible or not, and it will be feasible only if it is technically appropriate. They need to have human skill, of course, because there is a lower level management which is reporting to them, and they are supposed to report that to the top level management. So middle level, in the middle level, the managers need to have conceptual, human and technical skill. All three are important. When we talk about the lower level management, all they require is technical and human skill. Conceptual skill is very less required, because these are the people who are not making any strategy, they are not making any action plan. What they are doing is just implementing the action plan with the help of the non-managerial employees. So they need to have technical knowledge so that they know how the machinery operates or how particular function needs to be done. And they definitely need to have human skill, because there are a lot of people who would be working under them who are the non-managerial employees. So top level management needs to have more of conceptual skills. Human skill is required, technical skill is very less required. Middle level management needs to have both conceptual and technical skill, and human skill of course is required. Lower level management needs to have technical skill to a huge extent, and human skill is definitely required. Conceptual skill is not required, because they are not the strategy formulator, or they do not form the action plan as well. There are other 5 skills which can be stated, like design skill, administrative decision making skill, communication and leadership qualities, which a manager definitely requires so that he can actually implement the managerial principles in the organization. So this is the same thing which we've already discussed. I'll take you through the slide. Top level managers are the CEO, COO, CFO and CIO. They are responsible for overall direction of the organization. They are responsible for creating a context for change. They develop employees' commitment. They are the one who make the organization culture, and they are responsible for monitoring the business environment. Why is it necessary to monitor the business environment? Because based on the business environment, they formulate the strategy of the organization. Middle level managers, these are the plant managers, regional managers, divisional managers, and what are they doing? They are converting the top management strategy into an action plan. They plan and allocate resources to meet objectives. They coordinate and link groups, departments and divisions, and they monitor and manage subunits and individual managers. That is, they monitor the lower level managers whether they're actually getting the work done from the non-managerial employees or not. Then comes the first line managers. They teach the entry level employees how to do their jobs. They encourage, monitor and reward employees, and they train and supervise the performance of non-managerial employees. So these are certain things that we've already discovered. I hope by now you are clear with the skills of top level, middle level and first level managers. See, again, we can go through this particular chart. Let's just talk about the human skills. You can see the human skills are required all by top level, first level managers, middle and team leaders. Human skill is one skill which is required by all the managers. When we talk about the conceptual skill, you can see the green line to the top, which shows the top level managers needs conceptual skill to the maximum. Red line indicates middle managers. So the middle managers also require conceptual skill, but not as much as the top level managers. Then you talk about the first line managers and the team leaders. They require conceptual skill, but again not to a great extent. When we talk about the technical skill is maximum required by team leaders and then the first line managers. It is not that much required by the top level managers. The middle level managers also require technical skill to certain extent. Again, you talk about motivation to manage. Of course, the top level managers require this skill maximum because they are the one who would be formulating the culture of the organization and motivating the employees to work together. So with this, we can say we've come to the end of module part 2 of module 1. And we have so far studied who are managers and what are the type of managers and what are the skill sets required by these managers. I would request you to go through the part 3 of module 1 as well, because that again will talk about the managerial roles and the different sub roles that the managers play in the organization. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.